Today I'll be making a tier list for all of the NFL teams. So up top you have S tier, superstar, and then you just got A, B, C, D, F. Okay. Starting off, Tennessee Titans. I think I'll put them in the B tier. I see the Colts being better than them, and I think they'll still make it in as a wild card next year, but I don't see them going that far in the playoffs. Next up, we got the Dolphins, and in my opinion, I think I'll put the Dolphins at the same spot. They have the sixth pick in the draft after that trade. They're going to get somebody good, and if Tua steps up, then they might even be in the A tier, but for now they're in the B tier. Next up, the Browns. I see the Browns going at least winning one round in the playoffs. I put them in the A tier. I think that they will do very well next season. The Jags. They finished last, and I know people are saying with Trevor Lawrence they're going to be so good. I see them being a little better, but right now, as of their current state, they are definitely an F tier. Same thing with the Lions. They said Jared Goff is going to be their future. I just don't see that happening. They have nobody. They're probably going to draft a wide receiver in the draft. But still, their defense is horrible. Next up, the Vikings. I think I'll put the Vikings in the C tier. They could squeak into the playoffs. The Packers are going to win the division, like always, I think. But the Vikings could make it as a wild card. As of now, though, yeah, I'll keep them there. They have a very good wide receiver coach. Except we got the Bucks. They just won the Super Bowl, of course, in the superstar tier. And the Bucks are I just saw this. They're only the second team in history to re-sign every single starter in the Super Bowl. The last team to do that was the Raiders in the 1970s. So they literally have the same squad. So if they play at the level they were at last year, they're going to win another Super Bowl. Okay, next up, the 49ers. It really depends who they draft. If they draft a QB in the draft and that QB succeeds, which rarely happens with rookies, actually. Usually a rookie QB is not that good. But I still see them in the A tier. They have the team. They have an insane team. Next up, we got the Falcons. I think I put the Falcons in the D tier. Now, they're probably not going to make the playoffs. I really just don't see them making the playoffs. But they're not in the F tier. They're not on the same level as the Lions and the Jags. Next up, we got the Ravens. I'll put the Ravens in the A tier, too. They have a good defense. I'd say, definitely, maybe number 6 or number 5 in the league. Definitely top 10. And, Lamar Jackson's very good. And I think if they just signed Sammy Watkins, and maybe if they get some sort of wide receiver in the draft and they do well, yeah, they definitely have a really good offense. And J.K. Dobbins is gonna be good next year, so I have them in the A tier. Next up, we got the Bears. I think I have the Bears in the C tier. Oh, it's kind of funny because their logo is a C, but I feel now, of course, that Andy Dalton signing was just not good, but other than that, their defense is very good. Roquan Smith, Khalil Mack, and they franchise tagged Allen Robinson, David Montgomery. So I still see them. They might have a shot at making the playoffs. Not a very good one. Kind of like the Vikings. Okay. Next up, we have the Cincinnati Bengals. Now, I put the Bengals in the D tier because I feel that Joe Burrow, when he comes back, is going to be good. And Joe Mixon's back next year. And they have a few good wide receivers like Tyler Boyd, Rashad Higgins. So I see them in the D tier. They're not that bad. Next up, we have the Cowboys. I think the Cowboys go in the C tier, just re-signing Dak. If Dak plays the way he played at the start of the season last year, then they're probably in the B tier, honestly. And if they pick up something in the secondary or on defense in the draft, then they have potential to make the playoffs. But for now, I'll put them in the C tier. Next up, we have the Texans. I'm putting them in the F tier. They're just in a horrible situation, horrible management. It depends what they do with Deshaun Watson, except I think his value has gone way down because of, the whole incidents. That could be true, could be false, but we're not talking about that right now. Next up, we have the Colts. I put the Colts in the A tier. I think they're a very underrated team. I believe that Carson Wentz will thrive in Indianapolis. and they just have all the pieces. They have a good offensive line, like one of the best in the league. They have a really good defense. I really like their team all around. Okay, next up we have the Rams. Now, I think honestly, like with Stafford, they could be in the S tier, but like, the S tier is only for the best of the best. I put the Rams in the A tier too. I really just think that they're just gonna be dominant next year. I think they're legitimate Super Bowl contenders. Next up we have the Chargers. I put them in the C tier. I think that if Justin Herbert keeps up his level of play, Keenan Allen plays well, and and they have a solid defense. So I say I put them in the C tier. I just think Justin Herbert will continue to play well, and they have a shot at making the playoffs. Like everybody C or above does have a shot at making the playoffs. Then we have the Chiefs. Obviously, they're S tier. They got clapped in the Super Bowl, but besides that, they are still a really good team. Okay, next up we have the Saints. Now, let's see. They lost Drew Brees. They have Jameis at QB. Now, I for one believe in Jameis. I think that since the Saints defense is pretty good, Jameis is just a real offensive guy. He's going to throw a lot of picks, but he's also going to get you a lot of touchdowns. So I put the Saints in the B tier. And then, like last season, they were probably in the S tier, but I think that they're a good team, and they could make the playoffs, and they probably will again, I think. Okay, next up we have the Giants. I have the Giants in the D tier. Saquon's back. Now, if Daniel Jones breaks out, which could happen, then their defense is already solid, and if they get another wide receiver in the draft, which they might be going for now, but maybe not because they got Galladay, but yeah, so I have them in the D tier. Now, they have a tiny chance of making the playoffs, especially because they're in a horrible division. So, yeah, I have them in the D tier. Next up, we have the Eagles. I mean, they're in the F tier. They literally, who's their wide receivers? Nelson Aguilar, Alshon Jeffrey, Deshaun Jackson, they dropped. They just have nobody. Nobody. And their defense is just not good. And I don't know about Jalen Hurts. Although he has potential. The Steelers, I have in the A tier. Or actually the B tier. Big Ben's slowing down. I still think they will make the playoffs. But they could not. There's a shot. They maybe they won't make the playoffs. I mean, they're in a good division. I don't see them winning the division because you have the Browns and the Ravens. And they may make it in as a wild card, but you never know. But they still have a very good defense and a good team. Next up, we have the Broncos. Now, this really all depends on Drew Luck. Now, as you know, their defense is top tier, and he has a team around him. Jerry Jeudy, Courtland Sutton. He definitely has a team around him. Now, I think this is the deciding year for Drew Lock. If he doesn't play well this year, then he's gone. But I have them in the C tier. I think they're pretty good. Although they probably won't make the playoffs, but there is a shot. Okay, next up we have the Packers. I think the Packers go in the S tier. Now, obviously, Aaron Rodgers is Aaron Rodgers. He's going to be a beast again next year. Re-signed Aaron Jones. I don't really understand that move. Could save them a little cap space. They have Devontae Adams. They have a good tight end. And they do have a pretty good defense. So I have them in the S tier. I mean, yeah, pretty self-explanatory. Okay, next up we have the Panthers. I have the Panthers in the D tier. Teddy Bridgewater is just he's a mediocre QB. Nothing better than top 20 maybe. So I have them in the D tier. They're just not a very exciting team. Although on defense they are pretty good, and they do have two good wide receivers. But I don't know. I just don't really see them making the playoffs. Next up we have the Raiders. This is a hard one for me. I think I have them in C tier. They almost made the playoffs last year. They were a little bit behind. But I don't see them going far. Yeah. Okay, next up we have the Washington football team. Sorry, this logo is a bit outdated. Now, I put them in the C tier. I think that the Washington football team has a chance of making the playoffs. And they actually, if we're talking about making the playoffs probability, they would probably be in the B tier just because of how bad their division is. But talent-wise, they're definitely in the C tier. Next we have the Cardinals. The Cardinals B tier, definitely. I like Kyler Murray. I like DeAndre Hopkins. I like Christian Kirk. And I think that I just like their team. Next up, we have the Bills. Now, the Bills are the A tier. I mean, they could be an S tier team. I don't know. I think I'm going to put the Bills in the S tier. I mean, Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs. Yeah, and they're just really good. I don't think there's much more to say. Next up are the Seahawks. I have them in the A tier. I think DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, David Moore, Russell Wilson, Chris Carson. Wait, actually, Chris Carson, I think he got re-signed. Yeah, I think he got re-signed, but I'm not sure of that. So I do think they will make the playoffs again. Next up, we have the Jets. I mean, the Jets are the Jets. They're not going to do well. Next up, we have the Patriots. Now, this is the thing about the Patriots. I feel like they're either going to be horrible, like S tier, or they're going to be, like, good, like, make the playoffs. Now I have them in the D tier, though. Like, I mean, it's just confusing to me. If they sign so many people in free agency, usually that means that you're, like, trying to win. But then they re-signed Cam, and he was just not good last year, so that confuses me a bit. Okay, so there it is. My NFL tier list of all the teams. Comment what you think.